And we're back to IGN's E3 Live show, streaming on e3.ign.com. Right now it's time to strap on your helmet and break out the pigskin. Madden 12 is looking to change up the game in some surprising ways, so let's throw it over to Hill now.
Thanks, Naomi. We're going to be checking out Madden NFL 12. Madden NFL 12 is really changing the game. They're bringing a lot of improvements. So we brought on Anthony Stevenson, who is the director of the Madden franchise, and he is going to be talking to us about Madden 12. So I guess when we first start off, you're going to see there's some big differences just in terms of the presentation in Madden this year.
Yeah, the development team did a great job. Mike Young, who is our art director, he always says that every team in the league, every player in the league is somebody's favorite. So we have to accurately represent that in the game. So we actually have all 32 authentic team intros. So in this case, if you're playing at Soldier Field, you're going to see the Bears run out of the big inflatable bear. If you're going to be at the Jets, you're going to see the Jets kind of fly out of the tunnel. So it's really, really cool. And we actually had NFL Films guys come down to our studio and work with us and actually film Madden from the perspective of an NFL Films cameraman. So the cinematography that's in there is really, really incredible.
So when you guys say it's in the game, you really mean it is in the game this time?
It has to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, and outside of the presentation, which looks great, there's been some big improvements to the gameplay.
Yep.
I think probably the biggest one people will notice is collisions and how they affect the game.
Yeah, the all-new collision system, basically it's just momentum-based tackling. So you're going to have full control over your players all the way through the point of impact. So you're not going to see any players that are getting sort of warped into animations. You're always going to feel like you're in control, and the momentum and the angles that you take for a tackle or to try to avoid a tackle, you're going to see that play out on the field.
Yeah, I think the thing that somebody said to me recently was that when you get a 3-yard run now, it feels like you earned 3 yards.
Yeah, you're fighting for every single inch in Madden NFL 12, so we're excited about that. And you know what? I mean, this year has really all been about our core fan base. We're trying to make this a love letter to our fans. These are things that they asked for, and so we're glad to deliver it for them.
And, the other thing that's definitely improved has been the defensive AI. Can you talk about what you guys have done there?
Yeah, we're fortunate enough to have a really passionate fan base, so they tell us all the issues. If there's a hole, they will tell us. And one of the things that when you watch, like, Madden Nation, I mean, there's guys out there who they play Madden, it's their career. They make more money than you and I combined just from playing Madden.
Well, I don't know about you. I make some pretty good money.
But when you watch them play, they really do on offense. They would abuse the flats. And the same with the zone logic. They would pick apart zones. And so what we made sure we did with the zone logic this year is guys will break out of their defensive assignments, their zones, if they need to. If they need to escort a wide receiver into another guy's zone, they'll do that. They'll break away from it, from their assignment temporarily. So it's really smart. They cover the flats really well. So the Madden Nation guys are going to have to find a new way to dominate this year.
For me, the most exciting thing on the field that has changed is this addition of dynamic player performance, which sounds like a big wordy term, but it's actually like a really crazy cool improvement to Madden. Explain what that is.
Yeah, it's really built around this concept. We spent a lot of time with John Madden, and he's just this great football mind, and he a lot of times when we're watching games together, he will pick apart things on the field that we're like, ooh, do we have that in our game? And one of those things was the way that players are, the way they perform in the fourth quarter is never the same as it is in the first. And it's because it's those intangibles. Madden has had over 65 player ratings for each player, but they're very, very specific, like speed. You and I could go run a 40-yard dash right now, and we could see who's faster, right? But who's got more confidence is a lot more subjective. And so when you think about a guy like a Jay Cutler, there was a Giants game last year where he got sacked 9 times in the first half. That has a mental effect on him that we never had a rating to measure. So dynamic player performance sort of measures those intangibles and lets them play out throughout the course of the game so that every play matters. And depending on how you perform in the first quarter, that will set you up to succeed or fail in the fourth.
And, as a player, as kind of the coach, you can actually sort of be aware of this. And so, for example, if you had a player maybe who loses concentration or has drops, you can try to build up their confidence early, right?
Yeah, exactly. You think about a guy like Mark Sanchez. So Mark Sanchez and, say, Matt Ryan, they might both be rated the same in awareness. Let's say they're both 85 awareness. But what makes them different is that Mark Sanchez, if he doesn't get off to a good start, he gets really, really rattled, whereas Matt Ryan's a little bit more consistent. So now we can separate those two where previously they would be considered equal. So, you think on for a running back like Adrian Peterson, right? He's been known in prior years, not so much last year, but before that, if he fumbled, it was a big deal because now he's going to cover the ball up like it's a baby he's got to protect. If I was the Vikings and I was running with Adrian Peterson and I fumbled, I'd probably take him out for a little bit. So it changes the strategy.
And I think the biggest improvement maybe in Madden overall is the franchise mode, which honestly this generation has been lacking.
Yep,
but this is the full-on franchise mode people have been hoping for, right?
This was really the easiest improvement for us to make because we didn't have to, brainstorm and say, oh, what should we put in franchise this year? Every single day our community was telling us what they wanted. So we have over 100 enhancements to it, expanded rosters. So if you think about like Hard Knocks, the sort of the emotional cut and the journey of a guy like Danny Woodhead when he was on the Jets, we never really had that because we didn't have expanded rosters. So we have that. We have cut days. We have rookie draft logic, which is really cool. So as you're in the preseason, if you think about real NFL, when these guys that are unsigned or undrafted come in on a team, they don't know exactly what they have. Danny Woodhead's a great example. The Jets didn't know what they had, and it took them a few weeks to figure it out. So as you go through franchise and as you progress through the preseason, you're going to learn more and more, uncover more and more ratings about that player, and then you can make a decision, do I cut this guy or do I keep him on the roster? So it's really cool.
And there's also a change to how free agency works. It sounds like kind of like
it's
like
an eBay.
Yeah,
it's like an eBay for free agency. It's a bidding process. So basically you are bidding against the other franchises in the league to go after a guy. How much are you willing to pay? How badly do you need that player? And so that's pretty much it. It's like a mini game within and of itself.
Cool. And I know the one thing that you guys haven't really talked about yet is online.
Online communities.
You have a little bit that you can tell us about online communities, maybe?
Yeah. So, we know that our fan base is highly, highly connected. You guys know that. Whether it's Facebook or Twitter, they all want to connect with their friends, people that are like-minded. So if you think about Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, online communities, which we'll talk more about in July, but it's this idea that, hey, if I put in Madden NFL 12 and I'm on Xbox, what if Xbox Live was only me and my friends, and I could play the way that I want to play, have my own leaderboards with me and you and all of our friends? That's what online community really aims to do, is to put people together that are like-minded and not force fans to play by our EA rules for our ranked matches. Let them figure out the way they want to play and have their own customized experience.
Awesome. Well, that was a quick look at Madden NFL 12. There are actually way more improvements than we could even get in this short amount of time. We're going to go ahead and throw it out to Naomi for kind of towards the end of the show we are.
Thanks a lot, guys. And speaking of awesome, if any of you missed our previous live show segments, be sure to check our archives on e3.ign.com. Next up, we're going to return to the creepy world of Silent Hill. Silent Hill Downpour